Your son is talented. You know it, his coaches know it, but college coaches, they have no idea he exists. And here's the part nobody talks about. It's not because he needs to get bigger, faster, or better. Most families think recruiting is about being the best player on the field. It's not. The best player on the field doesn't always get recruited. The best marketed players do. Now, I've worked with over 200 families who thought their son just needed one more camp, better highlights, or one more season to finally get the attention that he wanted. But the real problem wasn't on the field at all. It was how they were getting in front of coaches in the first place. Over the past 2 years, we've helped these families generate over $20 million in scholarship money by fixing the one thing that keeps talented players invisible. And in this video, I'm gonna break down exactly what that missing piece is. Let me walk you through the reality of college football recruiting, because most families never hear this part. Every single graduating class has over 250,000 high school football players. Only 2.7% of them will ever earn any kind of scholarship money. That's not even talking about just Division I. For Division I, it's about 1%. And that's not because 97% of kids aren't good enough. It's because 97% of players are completely invisible to the coaches making those decisions. Here's what actually happens behind the scenes. College coaches don't sit around waiting to discover talent. They don't just show up to camps hoping the right kid catches their eyes. They have lists, they have boards. Before your son ever steps foot at a camp, before they watch a single highlight, they already know who they're there to evaluate. And if your son isn't on that list, it doesn't matter how well he performs. He's just another kid in a sea of jerseys. This exact situation happened at a random camp that I went to this last season in 2025. I went to a local camp from my hometown. Now, this is a pretty big Division I school. A lot of people would know of it if I said the name. And I was going there just to hang out with one of our families that just kind of watch their kid, see how things would go, have a conversation, all kind of fun stuff. But right when I go into the stadium, I immediately saw a group of 10 quarterbacks pulling off away from the entire crowd. And this immediately caught my eye. Now, the camp field was all the way over here on the other side of the stadium. This is where the football practice facilities are. And so it makes sense that the camp is taking place on that field. And then where these 10 quarterbacks were going were all the way over here on the soccer field that this school had. Now, why would these coaches peel off 10 quarterbacks from the other probably 100 quarterbacks that are at this camp? Because they knew who they wanted to watch. They knew who they wanted to evaluate. And guess who was there evaluating them? The offensive coordinator and the quarterbacks coach. So that means that these other 100 quarterbacks are just over there throwing to no one that is going to make a decision on their recruiting process. They're not even paying attention to them. All they have is a couple players over there babysitting them. And the issue is, this is where most families get completely blindsided. They think the game is about talent. It's not. The game is about exposure. If you don't know how to play that game, your son loses before he ever even gets started. Now, this is the biggest lie in football recruiting, and it costs talented kids opportunities every single year. Everyone says the same thing. Work hard, make good film, go to camps. If you're good enough, coaches will find you. That sounds great in idea, but it just isn't true. I'm living proof of that. I went from being a backup quarterback my senior year to earning over 20 scholarship offers worth more than $500,000. And I can tell you what, it wasn't because I suddenly got better at football. It was because I figured out what nobody was teaching me. Coaches aren't going to find you. You have to make them see you. And there's a massive difference between those two things. Now, if you're watching this and thinking, okay, I get it, but where do I actually start? I put together a free scholarship playbook that walks you through the exact steps to take based on where your son is in the recruiting process right now. You can get your playbook in less than 30 seconds, and by the end, you'll know exactly what stage you're in and what to focus on next. It's completely free. The link is in the description right below. A perfect example of this is Cooper. Cooper was an absolute stud. You would watch his film, you would see the stats that he had. He was playing all over the field. He was the best athlete, not even on the field, but in the entire area by far. But yet he was not getting recruited when he first came to us. He was having the same issues that you and every other family are facing. They're not getting seen by coaches. They weren't able to build any relationships. If they ever heard anything, they were just getting ghosted. And once he came in and worked with us and started implementing the system to start getting the coaches' attention, to start getting aggressive rather than waiting for them to come to him, things absolutely changed. Coaches started to call him instead of the other way around because he positioned himself in a way that made him irresistible to coaches once they came across his X profile and any outreach that he was doing. And it ended up causing him to get 4 scholarship offers in a very short amount of time, and basically committing before any of the crazy recruiting stuff started happening and getting a full ride to a school that he absolutely loves. And look, here's the thing. I've seen kids who are absolute studs, first team All-State, crazy stats, dominating on Friday nights, and still have 0 offers. Meanwhile, I've seen kids who are good, but not great, end up with multiple Division I scholarship opportunities. The difference is not talent. One kid knew how to get in front of coaches. The other one waited for coaches to come to him. And waiting doesn't work. So what actually keeps talented players invisible? It's not size, it's not speed, it's not even production. It's the fact that they're not marketing themselves. And no, I'm not talking about posting random clips on Instagram or making flashy highlight reels with music. I'm talking about a real system. A system for getting your name in front of the right coaches at the right time with the right message. Most families send one email to a coach, never hear back, and assume the coach isn't interested. Or they go to a camp thinking coaches are going to discover them, when in reality, the coaches are only watching kids they already know about. Here's the shift that changes everything. You have to treat recruiting like a business. Your son is the product, college coaches are the buyers, and if they don't know you exist, they can't make you an offer. That means outreach, that means follow-up, that means being where recruiting actually happens, which is X, formerly known as Twitter. That's where 90% of real recruiting communication actually happens. You have to build relationships with coaches before you ever meet them in person, because by the time you show up to a camp or unofficial visit, the decision should already be halfway made. That's how recruited kids do it. They don't wait to be discovered. They make it impossible to be ignored. So how do you actually do this? It comes down to 3 things. Part 1, build the foundation. First, your foundation has to be dialed in. Your X profile needs to be clean and professional. Your highlights need to show coaches what they want to see in the first 30 seconds. Your measurables are clear. Your GPA is visible. Everything a coach needs to evaluate your son should be right there. Easy to find, no guessing, no extra clicks. Second, you need an outreach engine. That means messaging coaches consistently. Not once, not twice, multiple times. Most responses don't come on the first message. They come on the 3rd or 4th follow-up. If you're not following up, you're leaving opportunities and scholarship offers, which are worth tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars, on the table. My favorite example from follow-ups is one of our best case studies. It's the Hardings. So Jonathan and his dad, Tim, were one of the first families I worked with, and they ended up going from 0 offers to 26 Division I offers, and he committed to Memphis. When he was first starting out, he didn't get any offers within the first couple of months, and it shows how long the timeline can go. But one of the big things that they did was follow up with coaches consistently. They were all on in the outreach. I've never seen a family so all in on the outreach, dial in, test different things, continue to just be persistent, and it worked out for them. Their first 2 offers came from follow-ups, and it didn't come from the first follow-up. It didn't come from the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, the 5th. It came from the 6th, and with another coach, it came from the 7th follow-up message. That means no responses for weeks, and they kept following up. They kept persisting, and it ended up turning into offers. And I can guarantee you, if they did not do those follow-ups, I can't guarantee that the other 24 offers would have came, because oftentimes you need that first offer to get the momentum rolling. And again, Jonathan wasn't like a borderline kid. This kid is a stud. This kid is a 6'4", 6'5", tight end that can dunk a basketball, that is extremely athletic. And I wouldn't be surprised if he tears it up at Memphis. But even with that, even with the amount of talent that he has, it took multiple times for a coach to even pay attention to him. So you have to be persistent. You can't get caught in your feelings because a coach isn't responding to you. You have to just realize that it takes more effort than you could ever imagine. Third, you have to accelerate relationships. Once a coach responds, you can't just sit back and wait. You move things forward. You ask the right questions. You get on the phone. You schedule visits. You show them you're serious. This isn't complicated, but it is a system. And most families don't have one. They're just trying different things and hoping something works. That's not a strategy. And your son's future is too important to leave to chance. So that's the missing piece. It's not talent, it's visibility. The reality is most families try to figure this out on their own, and they end up spinning their wheels for months. If you want help with your son's recruiting, book a free call with our team. We'll look at his situation and give you a clear, honest plan for what needs to happen next. The link is in the description.